right, guys, you know it's time for us to have our very special conversation with Terence Santos de la Rosa Sims with Chicago Commons. He is the Vice President of Senior Services. How are you doing, Terence?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing swell-tastic, as they say. This week, I know last week we really got a chance to peer into your relationship with your own family, which was really had a nice touch. And now this week, how important is companionship? This really brings us to how seniors can have a detachment when no one comes by to see them or say hello. But why is why is companionship so important for seniors? And how does it impact their overall health and quality of life?
Companionship is much more than just having someone to spend time with. It's about feeling connected, valued, and understood. As we age, life circumstances often change. Retirement, the loss of spouse or friends, changes in mobility, and children moving away can all contribute to feelings of isolation, meaning companionship helps fill that void. Research consistently shows that seniors who maintain strong social connections tend to experience better emotional well-being, lower rates of depression, improved cognitive function, and even better physical health. But beyond the statistics, companionship reminds us that we still matter and that it gives us someone to laugh with, share memories with, and create new experiences with. Human connection is not a luxury. It's a necessity of every stage of life.
I like how you put that. You know, just earlier this week, I met a 75-year-old woman that graduated with her PhD. And, actually, she'll be graduating today. But the beauty of that is that it's never too late. What are some common misconceptions about love, dating, and companionship among older adults?
You know, one of the biggest misconceptions, at least as I see it, is that the desire for love and companionship somehow disappears with age. Nothing could be further from the truth. While the expression of love may evolve, the need to connect with others remain a fundamental part of being human. Another misconception is that relationships among older adults are only about romance. In reality, companionship can take many forms. It may be a close friendship, a trusted neighbor, a caregiving companion, or in this case, maybe, even a romantic partner. What matters most is having meaningful relationships that bring joy, comfort, and support. Many people assume seniors should simply accept loneliness as a part of aging. I say no to that. I strongly disagree. Loneliness should never be considered a normal or inevitable part of growing older. Every person deserves connection, belonging, and the opportunity to build relationships that enrich their lives.
Yeah, it is inevitable, but we've talked a lot about the challenges that come with aging. Those health challenges are the main thing that people think about. Retirement is something that I did with my dad, and I'm not even retirement age. And losing loved ones is something you just mentioned recently, and adjusting to new chapters in life. One issue that doesn't get talked about enough is what we're talking about today, and that's the loneliness. So many seniors that find themselves spending more time alone may want to figure out where can they find new friendships, new creative, meaningful social connections, and even opening their hearts to companionship and love for later in life.
Well, the first step is recognizing that it's never too late to open your heart to new possibilities. Building relationships often begins with taking small steps and being intentional about those steps. Join a senior center, participate in community activities, volunteer, attend faith-based gatherings, or explore hobbies that bring you joy. It's important to remember that meaningful relationships often start with a simple conversation. A friendship formed over a shared interest can become a powerful source of support and companionship. For those considering dating after loss or divorce or years of being alone, I encourage them to be patient with themselves, There is no timeline for healing or opening your heart again. The goal isn't to replace someone that you love, which can be very difficult, especially if you've been with somebody 30, 40, 50 years, but it's to create a space for new connections and experiences. Love is not limited by age. It is expanded by our life experience.
I can't let you off the hook like that, Terence, because if we're taking steps towards building new friendships, where can they take those steps towards building new friendships? Because now I'm thinking about all the grandmothers out there or the seasoned individuals that are looking for companionship. Should they be on a dating app? Should they be on a meetup app? I mean, what do you suggest?
Well, I guess there's many vehicles. Me, myself, personally, dating apps. I hear about them, but I've never been a part of those things. But I'm sure they have some dating apps for seniors. One thing that sounds probably traditional and typical in some sense is that a lot of seniors attend bingo night. Bingo has really become a big thing throughout the years, and singles there, various senior centers where gatherings come together for purposes of socializing, playing games, whether that's during the day, going to a facility to have breakfast. They have senior breakfasts, they have senior lunches, senior dinners. I think all of these places are places where you can actually meet new people and have conversations. So I think it could be anywhere. I don't think it's just exclusive to seniors. There are many ways that all ages of people can actually discover, new friendships and potential partners in any companionship in some capacity.
I love that. Well, as we get older, society often sends the message that certain chapters of life are behind us. Now, that includes love and adventures and meaningful friendships, but many seniors are proving every day that some of life's most fulfilling moments happen after retirement and after loss and after major life that may believe they're too old to find companionship. They discover a new sense of purpose or even fall in love again. What message of hope and encouragement would you like to share with them?
That's a good question. My response to that, my message is simple. You are never too old to be loved, and you are never too old to love. Every chapter of life offers opportunities for connections, growth, and joy. Age does not diminish your worth. Your ability to contribute or your capacity to form meaningful relationships, they don't die. In fact, many older adults discover some of their deepest friendships and most fulfilling relationships later in life because they have gained wisdom, perspective, and a greater appreciation for what truly matters. LaDonna, I know you mentioned a couple segments back that, you don't believe in no new friends. I know that's a running joke, and there's a rapper that talked about that. But I encourage every senior that's listening today to remain open to new people, new experiences, and new possibilities. Your story is still being written. There are conversations you haven't had, friendships that you haven't formed, moments of joy you haven't yet experienced. The heart does not retire. It continues to seek connection, purpose, and love throughout our lives. And as long as we are alive, as far as I'm concerned, there's always an opportunity to give and to receive the gift of companionship. And if I would close that out with, one of the greatest myths about aging is that life somehow becomes smaller. The truth is that life can continue to expand through relationships, purpose, and love. We all want to be seen, heard, valued, and connected, whether through friendship, family, community, or romance. Companionship reminds us that we are never meant to walk life's journey alone. No matter your age, your heart it still has the capacity to connect and to inspire and to love.
So in other words, your life is not over. There's still purpose, connection, and joy ahead.
Absolutely.
Well, Terence, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your insight on the importance of staying connected as we age. We really appreciate the incredible work that Chicago Commons continues to do to help seniors stay active, engaged, how about connected throughout the community as well. Where can people find Chicago Commons if they want to get more information?
You can give us a call at 773-373-5055 or look us up on the web at www.chicagocommons.org.
Thank you so much, Terence Santos de la Rosa Sims with Chicago Commons, and not just with them. You are the Vice President of Senior Services, so you know what you're talking about.
That's right.
All right, guys.